Now, Mark, you have an incredible mission. You want to take the power of this idea on how you can help more and more people, entrepreneurs around the world, be able to get the help that they need, be able to satisfy how they can move forward, regardless of what might be going on in their world, the stresses that they're under. And you recognize that you can do that through the power of community.
Yes.
But we need to be able to build those communities somehow and to some degree of speed and expanse. So what's your vision around that and how are you using innovation as part of that process?
Thanks, Richard. Yeah. My vision is that we have a fully conscious world, a fully conscious world. And how do we do that? Do we go one by one? No. We go to the people who have the biggest networks and who are willing to share and who are willing to spread. So I get 75 in Epic, 75, 75, but I don't want to stop there because I see the value of communities for the individuals that are in the communities. And it can't be just any community. It has to be a community of people that I call them high plus twos, give each other energy, are givers without even thinking about taking, highly aligned, high character, high consciousness, high consciousness, high consciousness. That's the important part. Because I feel for me, as I'm going up this consciousness map, the more I am higher in my consciousness with inner love and inner wisdom and towards that enlightenment part, my mental health struggles seem to go away. So we can achieve that. That's going to greatly help. The full focus at first was to build Epic Fit. And then all of a sudden I noticed that, well, I can go member by member by member. But I also saw that there was a sort of gift that I had, unique ability, as Dan Sullivan calls it, the unique ability in terms of building communities. Because I helped another entrepreneur, it was a smaller community. And I'm like, oh, it's easy. Ask a question, something simple as, what is your charitable cause? Okay, so let me give you an example of this where this really backfired. So for the other person. So if someone says, what's my charitable cause? Am I going to read from a script? Am I going to think about the things that I'm supposed to talk about? Like you asked me right up front, I wasn't just like, well, let me tell you number one, number two, number three. No, it has to flow. If it doesn't flow, that's a little red flag. And then you ask them, when you ask why, I want to hear a story. I want to hear a story. So I was talking to someone about perhaps being a member or being a client even. And I asked that question. And all of a sudden I was just like, oh, wow, that's near and dear to my heart, what you're saying. And then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And wait, you have 8, 9, now 9 causes? What the heck is going on here? Why? And there was no strong connection there. And, you just keep asking why and why and why. And then finally it got down to, he gives to charities that can give him back introductions. He gives to charities based on the fact that how much that he gains. Right? So I always like to ask the question, what's your purpose? What's your ikigai? Define purpose. And they define purpose. And it's like, okay, you could take this with courage. You can do anything. Now, are you at your highest dharma, your highest ikigai, highest purpose? If they say yes, it's like out the door. Okay. But if they say, yes, or no, I'm not, but here's my purpose, and it just kind of like flows out of them. So I'm helping someone build a 100-person community, and we could do it by the end of the year, $15,000 a person. Now, do I want to, you talk about saying no. And I told her, I said, I don't want to be in every single meeting. In fact, I'd like to be in no meetings. So we could put together something in terms of figuring out, this person has like a massive following. We can figure out, and I can help you figure out. Now, it's going to be beautiful once we get the AI thing going. And you can have a 5-minute conversation with a person. You can have a 5-minute conversation with a person, and then that will pick up on, are they authentic or are they not authentic?
Yeah, it's very interesting because, there's a similar just general concept around, the putting a price tag on things. And, I can't remember who it was that said this to me originally, but as an example, like a strategic coach organization, and there's different layers and levels, and there's multiple groups that are incredible organizations. The things like the Genius Network, Abundance 360, and to be a part of these organizations or these networks, there's a price tag involved, and depending on the level or the tier that you want, changes the price tag. And so what I've heard from a few people is that one of the reasons that they go to, let's say, a group that's a $50,000 a year group, is because they're going there for who's not in the room. It's
Bingo.
not it's not that they're there because they want to spend $50,000 and that Bob Jenkins is the master, coach that's going to teach them everything under the sun that they need to know. No, they're going because of the community of people that they get to associate with, and that they've all made a similar commitment, and by the virtue of that commitment, it puts them at a playing field that allows conversations of a certain type to happen.
That's right.
And so it's not that it's trying to be uh, exclusive of other people, but by the virtue of a price tag, it automatically has people decommit from attending. And what you're talking about, Mark, is now, okay, we have this idea, but now we're going to incorporate on top of that idea. What are some of the fundamental questions, mindsets, language that we also want to see as, call it a filter or maybe a barrier to entry to some degree, so that you're trying to create the right environment. And so, you know, every single year farmers plant crops,
Mhm.
and those crops aren't going to grow unless certain things happen in the environment. They need the right kind of soil, the right kind of nutrients, they need sunlight, they need water, they need to be able to survive through the storm season, all these kind of things. And so all the farmer can do is they can make sure they're trying to match the right seed, the right crop, right fertilizer, right soil type to the environment where, and they planting it in an area where hopefully it's going to get the right kind of sunshine. Some plants don't grow in full sun, some require it to grow. And so you're trying to create and almost position a way for communities to accumulate and grow by leveraging some AI technology and the mindset that you have about being able to dictate these things and being able to now position it in a group format. Am I kind of on track there?
That's absolutely correct. Which is why I'm developing other communities for those types of purposes. And like what's in back here, which is different. This is the exit entrepreneur, athlete, artist. And the value it brings is, again, you have a higher price tag, and they will know it's a safe place for them. People aren't going in here. The exit entrepreneur isn't going to say, "Hey, I wonder if I can, you know, make even more money." Right? The exit entrepreneur is not looking for that, but what they really are is looking for purpose. So to go into this a little bit is that, yes, we need a heavy gate at the door in terms of the exit entrepreneur, as heavy, as high as possible, right? And it's almost like that's a little bit more on the vetting side. Like, I want to see that you have a charitable cause and then you hold near and dear to your heart. I also want to see that you have a high ikigai, which is what we discuss, a high dharma, and that you're always striving for more. And that part of that dharma, there's nothing to do about capital. It's all about serving and impacting. And that's where your purpose comes from. Now I take it a step further. You take these elite exit entrepreneurs, and one, yes, you're getting on purpose by gathering in a room. But think about it this way. How amazing would it be? And they're all very open about their mental health struggles, which is pretty much every one of them. Now, how beautiful would that be is you take a growing entrepreneur and you pair them up. So these are all of the highest character, highest consciousness. You pair them up with the right entrepreneur who has exited. Now you have somebody, or the startup, even better yet, the startup. Think about it. You take a startup company and they're struggling, because I hold that near my heart. One of my really good friends, brother took his own life because he thought his startup was going to fail.
Mm.
So to have somebody not only as a mentor in terms of entrepreneurship, but also mental health and similar types of not just industry, not even industry, but just like, hey, I'm very similar. I've gone through that too. I know what you're going through right now. Okay. So you have the high carriage exit entrepreneur there to pull him or her up, and then also the 24/7 factor. How valuable it would be for someone that's in the early stages or hyper growth stages to have somebody that has done it. And it's like, I know what you're going through, but to be paired up, that's where AI comes from too, but to be paired up perfectly to that individual. Now you have purpose on both sides. So this is just a way, and it's just not let every single startup through the door. There's a criteria for that. There's AI for that as well.
Well, that's an incredible way to look at taking modern technologies, creating some speed of implementation, solving a problem for exit entrepreneurs by helping them create purpose, helping them create more value, solving a problem for the startup by making sure they're linked to the right groups, the right individuals, so they have the right playing field to get through the challenges that are ahead in their startup business, in their startup phase, and they can learn from someone who's already made that exit. I love the concept. I love the idea. And that's a perfect way to consider how innovation is taking place in the entrepreneurial world and how we can solve more problems in the entrepreneurial space around mental health. Mark, I'm so grateful for your time and your opportunity to share your story with us today and share what you've been doing and working on and how you're supporting other people and bringing awareness to the mental health challenges that entrepreneurs face. And for everyone else, make sure you tune in next week where we go deeper into the stories of entrepreneurs and their journey and how they're overcoming challenges, just like Mark shared with us today. Thank you so much.